Hello, happy Tuesday night. Welcome back to the channel. If you are brand new here, my name is Carmen, and we are live every single Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with health tips, weight loss tips, and once in a while you get to hear from one of our clients who has gotten incredible, insane results. And tonight is one of those nights. And so tonight you are going to get to meet, you're going to get to hear. For those of you that watched season 7 of The Biggest Transformation, you already know her. I know that you probably love her. Her name is Judy, and she was the winner of season 7 of The Biggest Transformation. And she is here with us tonight to share how she lost the weight, how she got such amazing results in such a short amount of time. So without further ado, please help me welcome to the call, to the live, to the YouTube, Miss Judy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good and I'm excited to be here.
So Judy, they saw a picture on the thumbnail to this video of your before and after. And so I just want to talk about that for a moment because when you got started, you were already a lot of people's like goals, right? Because you started at what, 161.6 pounds?
Right.
Okay. And then you, in a matter of, so this morning, you weighed in at 132.3.
Right.
So you have lost a total
1 pound away from 30.
0.7. You've lost a total of 29.3 pounds in like 4 months.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
it feels good.
This is the most shocking part. But when you got started, you were in a size, what size were you in?
I was in between a 10 and a 12. I really was. Most of the time I would have to get dresses in 12s, and my jeans, I was entering right into the size 12s.
And just a week ago, what size were you putting on your behind?
Anywhere between a 2 and a 4. And it feels good.
Oh, that is incredible. So in 4 months, from a 12 to those pants that you sent were a size 2, from a 12 to a 2. That is incredible. So here's what I love. You know, so often there's this big myth out there that says if you're smaller, you can't get as good of results. So well, we're going to tackle that in a moment, but I know everybody who's watching is like, how did she do this? What did she do? So I want to go back first and foremost to 4 months ago, 161.6 pound Judy.
Right.
Because by all people's standards, you were not a large human being. You were not a big human being. So what was it that made you reach out and say, I need to be a part of this. I need to lose weight. Like, what was that?
Well, I had never weighed over probably 155 ever. And then I found that I just wasn't eating right anymore. I kind of had given up. We were going out. I just wasn't really watching it anymore. And then what kind of triggered is one time I went to bed and my feet started tingling. And I thought, uh-oh, this is pre-diabetic. I always had super low blood pressure. My pressure was up. It was probably like in the 160s over 90s, which for me is super high. So I was seeing physical changes that were scaring me, and I didn't want to go down that road. And I used, like you always say, I used to be in sports and good shape, and I found it going downhill fast.
So how did you hear about the program?
Well, it wasn't this past summer. I think it was the summer before. Anyway, it was in season 5. You had Jerry Merrick, and Jerry looked fabulous at a really good friend's cookout. So I pulled him aside, and I didn't really even know it was him. And I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Well, there's this lady named Carmen O'Quinn, and she has the biggest transformation, and you've got to try it." But one thing he said, and stuck in my mind, he said, is she's no joke. You got to do what she says. You got to stick to the plan, or it's not going to work, and she's going to kick you out. So that scared me enough to think, all right, I want to do this because I'm always up for a challenge. I love a challenge, especially if it's going to get me end results that I wanted. So Jerry told me how to find you. And then I sat in my car one day and thought, I'm going to do it. So I sent in the video, and Luckily, and I don't know why you chose me, but I was so thrilled and happy that you did.
That is it. So what would have scared most people excited you?
Yeah, I mean, it really excited me, got me into the right direction. You said yes. I thought this is a blessing because I've been saying all along, Lord, help me find somebody that can help me because I was really just couldn't do it myself. I really could not. And the accountability of your program for me is 100%. Your accountability, that you have to check in, that you every Monday, you tell us what we lost or didn't lose, and that accountability for me, I didn't want to come in not losing. I just didn't want to do that. And so I was so determined, follow those containers, really tried to follow everything that you said.
Well, and you were a perfect example of that right from the beginning. So if you're watching and you don't know what we're talking about, Judy is a part of one of our weight loss programs called The Biggest Transformation. And it's high accountability. Everything is spelled out, what to eat, working out 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, how much water to drink. We meet every single week. They weigh in live every week. And so it's like this whole plan that's laid out. Basically, here's the blueprint. If you follow it, you're going to get results. And right from
Right.
the very beginning, you were at the top of the leaderboard. Like you kind of, and then I think it was like the third or fourth week, maybe the fifth week, because Stacy was in the lead in the beginning, and you just like whoop, and then you kind of stayed there. You were, so often people really struggle with consistency, Judy, when they start doing weight loss, and you didn't. So how did you stay so consistent, so disciplined?
What it was is I also had done in the past intermittent fasting. So I thought, okay, how can I roll this in, which this is a perfect program to roll in what you're doing. So I thought I'm an early bird. I get up early. And if I seriously, if I don't get my workout done first thing in the morning, it almost doesn't happen. So I got up early. I try not to eat that first hour, then I'm up. So I get up, I get my coffee started and say my prayers. And then I drink my Energize, which gets me going. Then within that first 30 minutes to an hour, I work out. And I find that worked for me. And then after that, I would be on the road for my job and I would drink my Shakeology. And that Shakeology it's just crazy how good it makes you feel. And the recover, you don't get sore like I used to get when I would lift. So those two benefits, I thought this is amazing and it's working. So that my secret was too that I would stick to those containers, and then come 4 o'clock, I was done eating. And then every single night I would do something else, whether I took a walk or went to the swimming pool or biked. And that really helped. And I just stuck to that routine. And now I'm finding that I'm going to stick to that routine the rest of my life because this program taught me that there is a way to do it healthy and it works.
100%. And also what I love, because you're a mom of grown kids and you're a grandma. And so
Yes.
often when we start reaching the grandma years, life tells us, society tells us that, you just get bigger and you just
Right.
get a bigger pant size and you just have lower energy and you're not in shape anymore because you're a grandma. Or even now it's
Right.
you're a mom, right? You're a mom. So just
Yeah.
so how did you fight off that society telling you to settle, but having this inner thing saying no? Well, what was it actually? Was it wanting had to have more energy? Was it wanting your clothes to fit better? Was it wanting more confidence? What was that like inner thing for you?
It actually, Carmen, was probably all the above. Being a nurse and just looking at people, as we age, your bone density gets less and your fat gets more. So I thought I need to do this in the opposite. I want my bone density to get better and my fat to turn it into muscle. So I was finding that it was working. I was seeing such changes and I was seeing the changes pretty quickly, which kept me so motivated. So yes, people would say to me, well, you weren't even heavy, but I thought, you don't see me naked. Yes, I am. I got this going on. So I knew what I had to do. And I thought also, you know what, like you said, I have grandchildren and hopefully more on the way. And I want to be able to do all these great things with them until I'm 90, 95. And if I was headed in the same direction I was headed, it wouldn't have happened. I was definitely going in the wrong direction quickly.
So being a nurse in the health field, I'm sure you see a lot of people that have, because being overweight is the biggest contributing factor to almost every health problem.
Oh,
And
yes.
so, how has it affected work? How has it affected your everyday life? Because you're almost 30 pounds down. I mean, and I mean, for me, 30 pounds, because sometimes, we deal with people that are a lot heavier than you are. But when I get the word picture of seeing you in a size 12 to a size 2 in 4 months, like that is so. How is losing the weight and going your body shrinking that much? Like how has life changed in the last 4 months?
It's changed great, great. First of all, my blood pressure is back where it was. I'm usually 106 over something. I have a very slow pulse rate and I tend to be active. Well, all that has come back. I'm swimming again. I'm biking every day again, and I feel good about it. I'm not dragging when I'm walking around or up the hill and things like that. Um, and it's not only just about how you look. It truly is about how you feel and your focus and your goals moving forward. But for how you feel, your confidence is better. It's interesting because I'm going with a very good friend of mine to a beach, and I used to dread it. Now I'm so excited to go because I've got a great swimsuit. It's just really exciting to feel good, feel put on those jeans and feel like, yeah, I'm 60, but I don't have to look 60.
Yeah.
So, honestly, as far as also, I'm very excited to get my cholesterol check because that was going up and up and up. And I guarantee you, I bet that's lower now because my pressure is lower and everything else is lower. But people have been coming up to me and saying, "What are you doing?" It happened yesterday. "What are you doing? What have you done? I want to do it." And I just explain your program and how it works.
Well, that was my next question because you're married and you have kids. So what has been your family's reaction to their mother looking like, because you've aged in reverse, Judy. There's this whole saying that I heard when I got started, and it was from a trainer, and he said the phrase aging is for idiots. He's like, it's for
Yes.
people that don't know any better, right? And in the beginning, I didn't quite understand that quote. But you are literally aging in reverse. No doubt your body looks and feels younger today than it did 4 months ago. And people can see that. So, how have people responded to this new Judy?
Well, thank you, Carmen. Thank you for that. Again, yesterday we had an activity as we always seem to, and people were coming up and saying, "Wow, uh, you just don't look 60." It's amazing how the difference is, and just different people I meet. Again, they're saying, "What are you doing? What have you done?" And the change is obviously noticeable, which makes me feel good because it's hard work. I said to my sister this morning, if I had to start over at the very beginning, um, I'd be pumping myself up mentally to do this because it's hard work and it's consistent. And then when people say, "Hey, you look great. What have you done? You look so good." It's so rewarding. It's rewarding to be able to put on those jeans and be able to go shopping and get a few new things that it just is so rewarding. And it just makes you feel so good.
And your body fat percentage was like 19%. You're like in your 60s as a grandmother, Judy, like you are getting the body of an athlete.
Yay!
Does that I mean, when you think about that, does that what does your brain say when you look in the mirror, when you go shopping and you put on those size twos? Is it surreal still?
Yeah, my brain is saying, wow, you set a goal, you set some limits, you now know your limits, you know how to do this now. Because honestly, and I'm looking forward to our classes in the future, it's a little scary because I want to stay this way the rest of my life, but you've given me the tools to do it. And I just want to make sure I always keep those written down and I always have them for reference so that I can go back and I can maintain this because I never want to go back to where I was. This is the new me and I'm so excited about it. But as far as moving forward, I think too that I just make sure that I stick to that and do what I was, going to do. And something you had asked me about. Anyway, so that's kind of my goal.
That's amazing. Now, I do have a question. Were you somebody who just kind of accepted your weight and then all of a sudden decided to try this program, or were you a serial dieter prior to this?
I was always a serial dieter, always, because
Really?
I mean, the only reason is because with me, I can be active, but then if I slow down, it comes on. And the more you age, Back, I guess the last time I was in my 130s, I was actually flying medevac, and we had to weigh in every time we flew. So I knew my weight was around 134 and it maintained there. And I felt good at that. I actually used to cover the scale at that because I didn't even want to be there. So then I got up to this 161. And if you remember, when I first started this program, I was coming home from Key West from a Florida trip. And I actually weighed 163 before a week or so before the program. So that was the heaviest I'd ever been in my whole life. So all my life, I kind of, it's not that I would get huge, but it would kept coming on. And I remember a doctor saying to me one time, every time you turn another decade, I see these women, if you're 50, you've gained 5 pounds. If you're 60, you just keep gaining weight. I thought, I don't want that to be me. So yes, I was just gaining every year, every 10 years, I was putting on another 10 pounds. Well, sure enough, going into 60, I was getting into my 160s. And I thought, I can't do this anymore. So that's why I was so happy to talk to Jerry, and just so happy to find someone who's going to give me some direction.
Now, for you, what was the difference as someone, because I didn't know that you were a serial dieter, which is crazy because, it even goes to show that so often, I started at 288 pounds. So I would have looked at then, I understand differently now, but I would have looked at somebody like you and said, oh, she doesn't know what it's like. She's not very big. But one of the things that I've learned through being a coach is that even people that have an extra 10, 20, 30 pounds, it still affects you the same way as somebody who's carrying 100 pounds. And so what was the biggest difference for you? Because you've tried all these diets. What was the biggest? I'm sure people that are watching want to know, like, okay, I get it. I have those same thoughts. I'm aging. I've been gaining weight every year too. So what was the biggest difference for you between this and the other things you've done in the past?
100% the biggest difference for me is accountability. We were so regimented as far as checking in every morning and every night. Because during the day, you don't want to mess up, because then you're going to have to say it on the video to everybody else that you messed up. So a lot of it is checking in. That's huge. Your accountability is huge in this program. The other thing too is the containers. Just like the cereal dieting, I grew up in a family where we had 3 meat, potatoes, and your vegetables. And we ate a lot of, meat, potatoes, and vegetables. And so I was used to that kind of high fat content type of thing. Well, the containers have taught me my portions, and they've taught me what is healthy. And, you would think that we would know this at our ages, and we do know it, but we don't really follow it because we don't want to. Yeah. So these containers taught me that when I sit down to eat, I don't need a heaping plate. I just need my portions, and then I need to follow it up with exercise. So it really has taught me a technique that I really had never done before.
Now, I just want to cover this because I know if people thought like I did and they were watching this video, they're thinking, I got to eat out of a little container. I'm going to be starving. I'm going to be hungry all the time. Judy, were you ever starving during the entire last 4 months?
Absolutely not. First of all, you hit that recovery after you work out, that fills your stomach. Your Shakeology is one of the best inventions ever. It has everything in it you need. You drink your Shakeology and you feel full. And I think Shakeology, if I'm right, even has something, it kind of decreases your appetite. So by the time I was done my Shakeology, I didn't want anything for several more hours. And then I would have a lighter lunch, and I was never hungry after that, but I'd have a light meal, and I would be done at 4. And then at nighttime, I always had my cup of tea, and never once did I shouldn't say never once, but truly, I never really felt hungry. It's a perfect system that if you follow it as you're supposed to, you really don't get hungry.
Yeah. And I think that's a big misconception a lot of us have, because so many of us that have struggled with our weight have done starvation diets.
Yes.
Where we are starving ourselves and we are hungry and we are hangry and we are moody. So often when we equate, but there's a difference between cutting what you're eating and eating properly. So often people in the program end up eating more because they're eating the right foods, which there's a huge difference. And so what would you say to somebody who's, where you're at? They've been a serial dieter. They want results. They haven't found anything that's worked for them. And maybe they've bought into the fact that I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm a grandpa, I'm a dad. My metabolism is slowed down. It's okay that I'm just gained some weight. They internally want to feel better, but they don't know how.
Yeah. Well, I'll say exactly what I said to someone yesterday when they asked, or like, how do I do it? Whatever. And I said, look, it truly is something that you just, when you get into it, you're just going to stick to it. You're going to follow the exact program. Don't cut corners. The accountability. It's easy. It's not easy, but it's easy. You know what I mean? Like once you get into it and get started, just do it. Just follow that program. Where other things I've done, the difference is, I think, other things I've done was not in black and white. You think, okay, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It never was in black and white. So you never did the same thing. It's almost like, and you might not relate to this, you're always trying something new, but it never worked. Where with this, it was in black and white for us, and we knew exactly what we had to do. And the group that we have, as far as I had two fabulous mentors, fabulous. If I have any questions, they were there for me and they were wonderful. And I also have a great Marco Polo group, which is 7 up. It was originally 7 of us. And those girls, we all share our thoughts. We share what we're struggling with. And anything that you share like that, you're not alone. So it was very, very helpful to have it in black and white. I know what I had to do every day. And if I felt like getting on the rowing machine for an extra hour, then yes, that's where a couple of weeks I really dropped probably pretty quick, more quickly than the week prior, because I wanted to do more. I had extra energy. So I went out and I did the extra cross country or mountain biking or rowing machine. And then sure enough, the weight came off. So it's just a matter of following that in black and white. And that's what really the difference of this program is.
Yeah. And, I love what you said. Two things that I love that you said is, it is spelled out. There's no guesswork. It literally tells you how to get results. You don't have to guess, like do A, B, C, and then I also love the fact that you hit on the more energy, because as we age, you see a lot of people that are aging and they don't have the energy to get off the couch. They get home from work and they just want to veg and eat their Doritos or whatever they're eating. But when you're fueling your body properly at any age, we've had clients in their 70s that are like, I have the same amount of energy as I did when I was 20, because they're now fueling their body properly. And so I absolutely love that you said that. And so my last question for you is, what's next? Because you're obviously almost to your goal. So what's next?
What's next for me is you were so inspirational when you sent us the graphic pictures of the girls who were 145. They went down to 122 and then they went back to 145. And my next is to figure out how to, I'm pretty much at my goal within 1 or 2 pounds. So now I want to turn this into muscle. So I want to learn, and I'm going to continue to follow the program, but I'm also going to research a little bit more about what else to eat to build more muscle and what, how much to lift or what to do. So I'm really, for the first time in a long time, excited about the adventure in this whole journey of getting myself to a good, strong point where I want to be. Because it's great to lose the weight, but I think that you also have to be strong and put on the muscle in order to have the energy and do all the things you want to do. So I'm really, really excited about figuring out the next step.
That is amazing. Judy, congratulations on winning season 7. You are an amazing example of diligence, of dedication, of commitment, of a real live living example of what it looks like to make a decision and follow that decision through. And you can connect. You are on Facebook, Judy?
I am, yes.
So you can connect with Judy on Facebook if you have any questions. And I will link down below. We have already started season 8, but we have the wait list for season 9 of The Biggest Transformation. You can click down below, get on the wait list, so you're the first to find out when it opens, and you can do the exact same program that Judy did. So thank you, Judy, for being with us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you, Carmen. In many ways, thank you.
You are welcome. And for those of you watching, have a great night. If you have not, make sure you smash the like button. Leave this beautiful lady an encouraging word down below. And we will see you back next week. Same time, same place.
Thank you.